Welcome to my, haven't done one of these in a while, my Sunday morning worship. Want to do it. Amen, somebody. I'm going to give y'all an old school Sunday morning hymn for those of you who used to go to church with your kids and probably still do it if you go to one of the smaller churches as opposed to the mega church. See if y'all remember this. Me. Jesus is on the main line. Y'all come on. Tell him what you want. Jesus is on the main line. Tell him what you want. You just call him up and tell him what you want. Yeah. His line is never busy. Come on, y'all. Tell him what you want. Whoa, his line is never busy. Tell him what you want. You just call him up and tell him what you want. Yes, sir. Then they start beating on the instruments. Hit that organ. Do. Yeah. I remember that. Old school. So I heard all this before I left the church at 12 years old. I got to hear quite a few songs before I left. You know. Good morning. Who's this? Mrs. Rayner, what's up? Ayla, good morning. Oh, what's up? That's one of those small North Memphis churches that used to sing that that old school they call the old hymns. And then they get into that call and response. I heard the Lord. Let me say, the Lord, he heard my cry. I heard. Yeah, that part. Yeah, that old school joint. So, but anyway, welcome to my Sunday morning worship. It's been a minute since I've held church on Sunday mornings. You know, things have occurred, but you know, I'm back. And I know there's other folks have started doing Sunday stuff, which is fine, because I'm always open to being a catalyst. Come on, somebody. I'm always good for being an inspiration to others. Y'all don't hear me. So, but yeah, all on YouTube and stuff. So, welcome. Glad y'all are up. And I just have one topic. Y'all know my one topic usually leads to other topics. But my main topic this morning is this story that's going on in Shreveport, Louisiana. It's called, it's a group of black men, black dads that refer to themselves as dads on duty, right? And I saw this on Instagram, by the way, this story. And it's comprised of about 40 dads. And I'm assuming mainly, or mostly the majority, if not all, are African-American men who are dads. 40 of them. And they take shifts showing up. It looks like it's about 6 of them at a time, according to the report that was shown on, I guess, on the local news there in Shreveport. They show up to, you know, greet the kids, say what's up. And they came on because of images of the students fighting. Of course, a lot of young, I don't like to say of course, just so happened it was young black men fighting to the bloody gladiator death in that damn school. But the men started showing up, and I guess the principal approved of it, and they saw they've witnessed a drastic decrease in violence and negative energy in the school. And these are students who are being interviewed. They say, they've said that it's like it's a positive energy. It's like a new energy at the school. And they attribute it to the dads being there, you know, greeting the students, good morning, how y'all doing? And they were talking about the corny dad jokes and all of that stuff. And I said, you know what? One thing I've learned from being a black man, from when I was a black boy, we can be viewed as the problem or the solution. So many times you like to view black males as the problem, when really the black man is the solution to a lot of things other than quelching violence and negativity at a high school. Now these men they're working on trying to get dads on duty become a national program for schools across the country, which I think is a great idea. But also, okay, y'all, I'm about to go there. Can't help it because I don't pretend that I don't live in reality. Who is this on here? Tino Luchin, what's up? What's up, cuzzo? You know, I don't like it when the liberal media acts like they pretend as if anything that we do in our community is something so, wow, that's so groundbreaking. Wow, they came up with an idea to stop themselves from killing each other and hurting one another. You know, I like to put stuff in historical and current context, right? See, the black man, again, y'all know this is my Facebook page and my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist. This is a black male geared, a black male oriented, because I'm talking about black men because in a way to let you know that the black man is the man. And the black boy is the entrance into black manhood. We have to protect black boys at all costs, right? And so, you know, they love to try to put a picture out there. Oh, those poor folks, they're so savage. They can't get, they need so much help. They're so broken. They lack the ability to govern themselves. Oh, you know, and that's what I get out of all of these stories. Yeah, they want to present it as a feel-good story, as a solution to a problem. But see, let's go to the originator of this problem of, I guess, black family dysfunction. See, there was a cool meme that I saw about 2 years ago that had the original deadbeat dad, and that was the white plantation owner and the enslaved African woman. Because y'all know they impregnated quite a few African women, you know, on the plantation, and just left the kids there, threw the kids to the family. The original deadbeat dad. But then after that, they worked so hard to bust up, to bust up the image of the black male with the constant onslaught and attacks on his person, his psychology, his spirituality, whoever he is, to make sure that he'll never, if they could help it, reach the heights of his godliness as a protector, provider, hunter, gatherer. So much so, they did it systematically. And unfortunately, a lot of sisters bought into it. See, something like that at that school, that could have been done a long time ago, but systematically, they've kept black men out of the school system. Rico, how do you know this? Well, go to the schools right now and show me how many actual masculine black men, masculine heterosexual straight black men who are in the school system. They're teaching them not just the coach, but who's the math teacher, the English teacher, the school counselor, mental health counselor, principal. They might have a few as principal, but they got like 5 women and 2 dudes as assistant principal. Y'all remember me telling a story about my beautiful junior high school in Memphis called Cypress Junior High School? Right off of Springdale. Right there, tucked in the back there. And they call, I guess, the hood or whatever. But I guess I didn't see it that way, too tough. Because we had such scholars there, and most importantly, we had men in my school. Only 2 men ran that school. It was the principal. First it was Mr. Hawkins, then it went to Mr. Simon. Then the assistant principal was Mr. Walton. Tall dude who wore leisure suits and hush puppy kind of suede suits, shoes and desert boots. I don't know what they were, but he used to get John on a lot, because some of his pants used to look kind of like ankle beaters, but he was cool though, very nice and respected. However, 2 men, and we had probably up to 1,300 students, and those 2 men ran the whole school, and the disciplinary problem wasn't near what it is in these last decades of public education, right? Especially in the city schools. Because there was a standard of expectation set by men. So you've kept men out systematically. You've kept masculine heterosexual men out of jobs, teaching jobs, and lied on said, well, you know, a lot of men don't like to go into education because education doesn't pay that much. A lot of men don't like to go into social work because they don't pay that much. Well, no, because I know when I arrived home in Memphis, couldn't find a social work job, so I applied to be a teacher a bunch of times. And the only way I was able to get in is become like a substitute teacher there. And then there was some ripples along that way. You know, because men, we carry ourselves a little differently than others, right? We engage the students differently. We come from a man's perspective. Meaning a lot of us are more outspoken than others, and so we know we're like, fuck this gig. I can go out and get another one. But the system began to periodically just weed out men. And I don't care what anybody says. I think a lot of these school systems got tons of applications from masculine heterosexual men, but they put them in as they call file 13 or the waste basket. And so you have something like Dads on Duty come on, oh my God, there are men who actually care, black men who care about their children or care about children. See, that to me is an insult. Because according to blackdemographics.com, the Center for Disease Control, Pew Institute of Research, black men are the most involved in their children's life than any other racial group of men. See, we believe, they put out these false narratives about black men and black children. So we have black men coming together and say, you know what, okay, you know, in my mind, it's like, well, hell, they wouldn't need a dad on duty if they had men in the school system. Does that sound about right? But I'm glad Dads on Duties is there. And I hope the concept catches on, like more men say, you know what, man, forget what this system is talking about. Let's go in and get our kids. I appreciate that attitude. But we're not going to act like this is like, oh my God. You know, because black men have not been there. So these guys decided to, you know, come in and, you know, give back and really help black children be human beings. Black boys be human beings. I don't like that. And so I don't want this to come across as me hating on them, because I'm not. But I'm not going to sit there and act like I'm not 52 years old and I've lived. And I've been observant of society since I was a little kid. But I didn't get to the place where I can actually articulate what I'm observing until I became a young adult. So a lot of kids see things, but they don't have the words yet or the vocabulary or that particular level of intelligence yet to articulate what they're saying. See, I didn't get that until I got around like in high school. Shout out to Fraser High School, when I would point things out. Like, let's say, for example, wow, how come if this school, Fraser High School, in 1987, 86, 87, is 51% white and 48% black and others, how come the yearbook is always 99% white? That sent the ripple through the school. Like, oh, damn, why you bring that up? Because this is what I see. Why I get to get a yearbook, pay for a yearbook, or however they was giving it to, and I don't hardly see images of me in there. And so that was, to me, was the beginning. Around 11th grade is when I started really vocalizing things that I was seeing, because 10th grade, I was just kind of there chilling, just trying to get to know the place. But 11th grade, 12th grade, I was on. And in some circles, not in a great way. Some folks didn't want to hear they didn't want to see me pointing out these pink elephants in these living rooms. And a lot of times people don't want to do that because they were comfortable walking past. So I'm pointing out the pink elephant in the living room when it comes to public education and black men and black boys. Shout out to Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu. Shout out to Dr. Naeem Akbar. And whenever I speak, I'm gonna always lean back and give credit and adoration to the scholars. I read what the scholars said to me years ago. A lot of our scholars in their 80s are dead now. Dr. Claude Anderson's holding on. He's in the mid-80s, about to hit 90. You know, we've lost Dr. Francis Cress-Welsing and Dr. Ben and Dr. John Henry Clark and Dr. Amos Wilson back in the day. You know, we've lost, our scholars lived to bring us the knowledge. A lot of them died poor or in poverty, worse than poor, in poverty, trying to bring the knowledge to black people. We wouldn't even respect them enough to read the research. And so you can have this kind of common sense. Because on Sunday mornings, your preachers ain't going to give you this kind of common sense. Because if you had the kind of common sense I had, you wouldn't be going to church. No offense to my avid church attendees. And you certainly would not be giving any money to church. Come on, somebody. Hallelujah. So, shout out to dads on duties. But if you had not taken men out of the school system in the first place, if you had not set up a deal with black women to run dads out of the homes in the first place, you wouldn't need a dad on duties at these so-called inner city schools. You understand? Stop making a lot of black men unprincipled, and the ones who are principals, fruited than a Christmas fruitcake that nobody eats, softer than soft. You know, they got some male principals, but god dog, dude, really. If you wear another pink collar shirt to school, goddammit, we gonna have a problem around here. All your shirts pink, bro. So, anyway, who's this? Glenda, what's up? Cuzzo. So, shout out to dads on duty again in Shreveport. But when the news presented, I was happy to see them, but I wasn't impressed. It was nothing new, because I know why dads on duties have to come into existence, because you took black men and black boys out of existence systematically, public school system. So don't act like the problem is black folks. You set up the socioeconomic, you set up the psychological environment. How you think people are supposed to survive up in there and strive up in there? And also, America has taken its focus off of black males as it relates to how they strive and how they make it to the next day, but they always focus on all the negatives and almost encouraging negative behavior out of black boys. And we always like to go the easy route and push girls up front, but when has women ever pushed the society forward? I'll wait and answer that. And that's done mainly in the black community. Every time you look around, you're putting girls up front. Then you come to this like, well, you know, a lot of young men don't want to do it. How about you introduce them? You don't know what the fuck black men do. But it's funny. Those same black males you say don't want to do this, they're achieving those very same things with other communities, other races. And we have to stop stereotyping black boys and stop allowing these systems to attack black boys. And boy, the first place you stop doing that is, I need black females from 15 to 35 years old, stop volunteering to be baby mamas. What do you mean by volunteering? If you have your babies with a husband that you've been married to at least 3 to 5 years, you volunteer to be a baby mama. That's how they get our boys. That's how they get our kids, and then get to tell you, well, push your girls forward. And stop treating the boys like he's your boyfriend when you're a single mama. Stop that. See, a lot of this stuff can be stopped, even with them systematically attacking black boys. If you call yourself gonna be a mama, only person in the house with children, at least you can do is read up on how to raise a black son. We ain't do that. But you'll say, well, you know, parenting don't come with a manual. Well, hell, there's plenty of books out there that can guide you on how to behave when you're a mother of a son. How to teach you. Every time you look around, go to these colleges, universities. Every time you look around, they're pushing girls. Some girl has done this. Some female student has done that. As if boys don't even go to the damn school. Y'all see where I'm going with this? So shout out to dads on duties. But I want to take y'all here, if I may. Speaking of black males this morning. But I think y'all might need a what's called a song interlude in this Sunday morning worship. Me. Speak, Lord. Speak to me. Oh, speak, Lord. Speak to me. Save my soul when you came and rescued me. Oh, speak, Lord, to me. Speak to me. I love you, Lord. Oh, speak to me. Ooh, and break down. Can't sleep at night, and I wonder why. Telling you God is trying to tell you something. Oh, can't sleep at night. Oh, and I wonder why. I'm telling you, God. And ooh, hey, yeah, yeah. Trying to tell you something. Now let me get back to it. Y'all hear it? That was your interlude. Mary Max, you made it up in here, girl. So, I'm talking about black males, and shout out to Dads Don't Do This. Shout out to Shreveport school system for allowing it to happen. But y'all know something? Speaking of attacking black boys, you ever notice? And this is just for me, just sometimes going through social media, and also walking out in real life. There's an enormous amount of effeminate black boys. Effeminate. You know, effeminate doesn't always equal gay. We know the little gay boys. But effeminate. And a lot of these effeminate boys come from these single mother-headed households. They do. And all of this behavior has a root. See, in order for a lot of black boys have been taught this: if you want to make it through this white male-driven society, masculine-driven society, it's almost like you have to, as they say, code switch. Well, you know, code switching used to be like change your English, change how you present yourself when you're in particular spaces, right? Well, a lot of these mothers and some fathers today are teaching their boys not to be masculine. Number two, a lot of these boys come up in an all-female environment, and you know what that means. When people say from the ghetto and the hood, they're doing a bunch of ratchet stuff and acting a fool, they say, well, I'm just a product of my environment. That's what a lot of rappers say, right? When we see these effeminate boys, you go home, there's only mama, grandma, auntie. He might have 3 sisters. Well, he's a product of his environment. And so he started taking on the way they think and reacting the way they react to things. And, you know, you have these fussy boys. Not just at 10, 5, and 3, and 15, but you have some fussy boys at 25 and 30. 35, fussy. Because they never ever got a chance to at least get around some masculine energy to teach them something. And I'll go back to when I was a kid. I came up in the house, majority women. Had a couple of dudes there, but they weren't shit. They were just dudes. And then there was boyfriends there, they weren't shit. But I was very lucky to be a little kid in the 80s, 70s, and 80s where masculine men were still around. So in my neighborhood, there were men with wives and children, and there was a couple of preachers there. You know, during when preachers were worth a damn in the 70s and 80s, they ain't become trash until like mid to late 90s. I mean, real trash. They ain't worth a damn right now. I don't even see why people even go to church. But they're mega pastors now. So my brother and I had a chance at some form of, you know, being introduced to masculinity and how boys and men are supposed to behave. And so, but these young fellas born after 95, born after 95, and especially after 2000, a lot of them didn't stand a chance. And I can see the struggle in a lot of them trying to present themselves as young men. But it's like they got the shoulder work, they got the neck work, and they got the mouth. And I know that they can't, they're trying to fight it. But it's nothing around them. So when they get around other men, they're kind of, you know, timid. Real, no, masculine, I say butch men. Masculine men, they're kind of timid. You know, and it's in the workplace and the college campuses, it's just, and the girls are just as rough and butchy and empowered and pushed straight forward. You know how they say they raise their daughters and love their sons? That's a part of that too. And let's go back to the plantation. Shout out to Dr. Joy Leary in her book, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. She educates on how this started. And it was all about the mothers over-mothering their sons out of protection, because they knew every once in a while the plantation owner would come through I guess the cabins or the houses where they stayed. They just start looking around to see how the children have grown, and they would look at the boys and say, "Whoa, look David there. Hey, Bessie, old David there, he growing up like a weed, ain't he?" And the mom would say, yeah, but he's dumb, he's stupid, he don't do no work, he's lazy. So she said all that to discourage the plantation owner from taking him away from the house to either to sell him off or to work him extra harder or, something like that. Same thing with the daughters. My, little Sally there is growing up there, ain't she? Well, she don't do nothing, master. She can't cook, she can't clean. I got to constantly teach her, master. They did all that, meaning they strategically belittled and degraded and demeaned their children for, in their minds, protecting them. We can go back to the lady in Baltimore. Y'all remember that obese black lady with that weave who smacked her son up and down on the news during the Baltimore riots after the Freddie Gray incident? They were out there protesting and she grabbed him. Now he damn near 6 foot tall with her little 5'4", 250-pound ass. And she smacked him all up and snatched his mask off his face and started pushing him and all of that. See, that came from the plantation. Like she thought she was saving him. And other people say, well, she saved his life. No, what she did was she permanently destroyed him as a man. And from the reports I've read, that boy's not doing very well in society. And so here we are. We got these young men who've been under the tutelage of their mama, grandma, auntie, cussed out, demeaned, talked crazy to, not made to really do anything, almost raised like girls. But the girls have been told, be independent, go get you a degree, take care of yourself. Y'all get it? And that is a problem, because a society is not led by weak and timid, effeminate men. And a society is not led and properly protected by women. I know some of you feminists out there who listen to Gloria Steinem and all these other Me Too and all the foolishness. And what are you talking about? What you saying? Yeah, but roll over there and rub your husband on his chest this morning. Oh, shit. You don't have one. Okay. While I'm talking. So, or your committed boyfriend. Roll over on him and... Okay. So, what I'm saying is, all this stuff can be reversed, but women have to start respecting their birth, their ability to give birth. They have to start respecting that. You can have sex with whoever you want to, but you don't have babies by just anybody. And what has happened in the last 40 years, women have just had babies by anybody because the state, the government has said, hey, you breed them and we'll feed them. Come on, somebody. And women have taken up on it. Oh, yeah, here's a grant here, here's a grant there, here's some free this, here's some free that. So they've convinced black women that men aren't necessary. But other groups also receive food stamps and all that, but their families never broke up. Mexican women never left their men. White women in the country, the white men and women who were families, shout out to Sister Shahrazad Ali, who broke this down. They never broke up when they got subsidies and food stamps and stuff, but somehow sisters got a different memo. You keep the man out, we'll give you like $50 in welfare and $300 in food stamps. That seemed to be the message that they received. That's the weirdest thing. And so this is what we have today. And I think out of being honoring and pride, they don't want to go back and reverse that, because they've been given so much for trading in their own families, just for political positions or positions at work and all that. But still, the natural order thing is for men and women to get together to reproduce and create a family. That's how generations are continued. You can't continue a generation with just a mama and 6 kids. That's weird. And a mom with 4 kids by 5 different baby daddies. That's not how that works. And it shouldn't be normal. It shouldn't have been normalized and made an ideal situation where the dad is not in the home. So I guess you can say to men, stop having sex with chicks, stop getting chicks pregnant who you don't see as the mother of your kid or number one, the wife. We have behavior problems on both sides. And that's plantation oriented too. I know y'all say, well, everything ain't getting slavery. Well, some things we should know, and when we know it, we're supposed to correct it. We're not supposed to learn it and then use it as a crutch or an excuse whenever we repeat the same goddamn behavior. Whoa, I just cussed in Sunday morning worship. I'm so sorry. Whew. See, you need to go and study stud farms. Study stud farms. Azrael Ben Nahu, what's up, brother? Azariel. What's up? Out of Memphis. What's good? It's not meant for the man not to be in the house. I don't know, but that's society, modern society. I guess it's been like that, and our sisters bought into it. Children are not supposed to be away from their mother and father. Even in divorce, you still need to stay close. Even though if you can't stand her, you got to get the kids, man. Even though you take it away. You know, get the law on her ass. Put her in jail and get you a new girlfriend and train her to be the mama to your kids or something. But it can't be without the masculine and feminine. That's not how the natural order things work. It comes with the masculine and feminine, not a lipstick lesbian and a stud. Or a feminine sissy and a butch sissy. No, that ain't how that works. Feminine meaning man and woman. Adam, Eve, not Adam and Steve. Got it? Oh my God, Rico, that's so homophobic. Well, if you thought that's homophobic, try this on for size. Your dad ain't supposed to have no wig and mustache and lipstick either. Shout out to P Valley. So, oh my God, they're transphobic. Who cares? Dave Chappelle and busted all the foolishness wide open. And let's go and get on this train and ride it where it's supposed to go. This is Sunday morning worship with Rico. Y'all hear me? And I don't know why more folks aren't speaking this way, because it's about saving family. If you have no intentions of having a family, you shouldn't be impregnating people, fellas. You shouldn't be. If you have no intentions of having a family with this particular female, you should not be getting people pregnant. Yeah, I know you can't get no punani without permission, but you still should not be getting people pregnant if you have no intentions of creating a family with her. And y'all have that conversation. And I don't care about these feminine responses. Well, you know, things happen. Yeah, it's called sex, jackass. I know about that. I learned about it a long time ago. And it's not required in 2021 because you have sex, people should be getting pregnant. All this technology and all these forms of birth control that women have. And also, women have what's called the power of discernment. Especially when you look around your situation, you know you don't have no money. You know you don't have nowhere to live. You know you don't have no car. You still finna have a baby. Oh, that's right, because the government said if you breed them, I'll feed them. It's like on the plantation. The woman's used in the stud farms to breed. And the black male, let's get back to this buck behavior today. His job was to go in there to breed more employees for the plantation. Non-paid employees from the plantation. And that behavior has not been addressed and said out loud. And that's why we still have this behavior continuing. It hasn't been shamed enough on the women part. Now, they'll say, now, we'll talk about the men all day long. We can all get amens and all that shit. But you cannot. He cannot become a father unless she decides to receive the semen, carry the baby, and actually push it out. So what about these fathers? They laid down and had these babies. Men don't get pregnant. Cut it out. Stop talking like children. And so, can I take y'all back to Dads on Duties real quick? I saw it on D.L. Hughley's page, initially, and my comment on that was like, you know what, that Dads on Duty thing, and those children speaking so glowingly and lovingly and respectfully and out of relief and feeling senses of security. And he said that his school has been positive, a lot of positive energy. It feels good, like to go to school. And I said, the Democratic Party is not going to like this. Because, see, the Democratic Party thrives off of black male dysfunction and single motherhood. somehow some hater is going to come out and try to sabotage this system. They're going to find some kind of legal wrangling to try to sabotage. It might be a lame-ass conservative who's just a hater. Might try to come out on the school board and hate on that. So I'll tell you, like y'all know how it is. Come on, somebody. When God is at work, the devil gets busy. Hallelujah. Come on, somebody. Hallelujah. Oh, glory. Build a fence. I'm telling you. Hey, Lord, shine thy light on me and show us thy light. So, and we go back to speaking about the plantation era. And I don't think we teach that enough to young people today. You know, we continuously allow the rappers and the athletes to be the voices that our children hear all the time. And look at what it's leading them to. Tattoo shops, stripper poles, juvenile court, jail, unemployment line. And a place where the side of their brain that's for creativity is rarely activated. Oh yeah, school dropout. And so, and we have these folks who are so overcome, you know, they're so made it that, but I ain't talking about slavery, and that they got to do, well, if you teach it in the context in which they can use it today, they can really benefit off the teachings of what happened on the plantation and how that behavior resembles the behavior that we still have going on today. Isn't it funny that when Jews talk about what happened to them in the Holocaust, no one ever says, you know what, they need to quit talking about that Holocaust. Hitler been dead for 55 years. They still talking about that? No one ever says that, especially black folks. White conservatives, white liberals, nobody talks about that. But as soon as you bring up the plantation experience of slavery, you have, they can recruit Negroes to talk about the blacks. You know the blacks with the good jobs and the Negroes with the college degrees. I don't know why they be talking about that all the time. You know, they don't do no good. Well, it seems to do a lot of good for Jewish kids. Because they grew up to even start managing your black male athlete. Whoa. I can't believe we're that slow. Whew. Come on, somebody. So, no, we're going to get it together. We're going to understand that Elijah Muhammad said back in the day, about 60, 70 years ago, we've done all we can do to try to get into this house of integration and get accepted into this system of assimilation. We've tried to walk in, we tried to crawl in, we tried to kneel in, we tried to slip in, or in his words, or to translate in today's terms, you know, intermarry in and have mixed babies, all that is still not accepted. Still looked over like fifth-class citizens. Still being told that even though you are the victim, stop crying about it. Pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. And folks aren't even allowed to have boots. Man. Talking about what other groups are doing. Other groups never went through what blacks in America have been through. Put through. Systematically, psychologically, educationally, politically. And they're still playing these games, and black folks ain't caught on yet. But we all, you know, we always talking about the culture and black. I said, nah, y'all don't know what black is. Because if y'all talking about black, I hear the names of Nat Turner. I hear the names of David Walker. I hear the name of Denmark Vesey. I hear the names of Fannie Lou Hamer. I hear the names of, who else would I hear? Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. I'd hear the names of Fred Hampton. Not just because a movie came out, but period. Did y'all hear me? Y'all know what blackness is. Only blackness when it's convenient, or it's good for a conversation on a Saturday night with a bunch of Negroes who got college degrees. But see, blackness is an action word. Unity is an action word. That's what it is. It's simple. But see, I know it's easier said than done. Like the movie Black Panther, a lot of people can't wait for that movie to come out. Why? Because they're not going to have any more masculinity in the movie. I might go and see it just so I can take notes and tell y'all, I told you so. Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm petty as shit. But I just get tired of us keep pretending like we have good sense. We don't. A lot of stuff that's said and done to us And in 2021, it's just embarrassing. Other groups like, damn, they let that pop off. They letting all these cops just kill black folks like that. They let their neighborhoods they letting neighborhoods around them get all the money and they pay taxes too. I'm telling you, other groups laugh at us not because they're jealous of them. They look at us like damn. Why is this group of people so powerless? And that's how they look at us. So that's why they're looking at us shaking their heads like, damn. Yeah, we come over here, we sneak across the border, we try to force our way, but we get over here and we make it popping. So, in death, okay. I hear you, Mary Max. And so, they look at us not because y'all think they're jealous of, they look at us and shake their heads like, damn, they've been over here 400 years, this the best they've done? I just been over here 4 months. And look what we've done. Now, of course, with the help of that same government who won't help them. And the first thing we want to do is do a coalition with immigrants. And we were in this motherfucker first. We already been over here. First thing we want to do is do a coalition, some Negro leader. We need to unite with our Asian brothers. We need to unite with our Mexican brothers. We need to unite. Why? They don't need to unite with you. You're on the bottom. Hell, they're making a living and off of you. There's just something wrong with blacks. It is. But your preacher never tell you this. I'm going to tell you what your preacher going to tell you every Sunday. What you haven't deserved, what you have done to that's disallowed you into heaven, or these things that you need to do to get into heaven, which are not even realistic. Because, oh yeah, how bad of a man you are, and you've fallen off your square, black man. That's why there aren't any black men in church, barely. If they're there, they're like the whoremonger deacon, the little fruity sons, and a charlatan preacher, and 85% women. You know, I have no intention of ever going back to church, except for when I go back for someone's funeral, maybe someone's wedding who's a friend of mine or something. You know, but other than that, like going there Sunday mornings, and I can be doing cool stuff like this, like having my own Sunday morning worship. Nah. And speaking common sense and really telling people this is what should be done, because this is nothing new. The scholars already did it for us. I know I sound too, as they say, too black or pro-black. What else pro should I be when I hear people be yelling, well, I'm not pro-black like that, or these pro-blacks? I'm like, well, what else should I be pro? I'm a black man. I'm a heterosexual, masculine black man. So what else should I be pro? For all y'all who say that silly shit, they ain't got church. I cussed again in my Sunday morning worship. What else should I be pro? Everybody else is pro their group. Now help me out. Gavin, good morning. What else should I be pro? Ain't pro-black. Like, dang. When people say pro-black, you know, I mean, like it's a dirty word. So that's weird. Because there are organizations or communities that have organizations that create, that push pro-Jewish, pro-Asians, pro-homosexuals, pro-everything, pro-women. But I can't be pro-black. I can't be pro-black man, black woman, married and creating a family. But Rico, you never got married. You have any kids? You're so correct. I understood the assignment a long time ago. If I had no interest in creating a family with this chick, I'm not going to get her pregnant. So therefore, my record is clean. I don't have any bastard kids running around here. Get anybody to say that, you never say that I'm somebody's baby daddy. I don't have that. That ain't what I do. That's not what I decided to do with my life. You know. And that's for those of you who believe in church and Bible. I thought they taught all of that already. You know, I thought they taught all of that in your church and your Bible and stuff. It's interesting how our group, according to statistics, African American women are the most religious group. Black people considered the most religious, right? But we do the least as it relates to following that book that is set there to guide. Because the literacy rate is so high, I don't know. Yeah, there are those of us who have college degrees, master's degrees, can barely read that damn Bible. They're like, what is this? Were we born in Elizabethan time? Yea, man, woe unto Maine. Yea, he dareth thou, saith Maine. I'm like, what is... So I guess after I get through reading the Bible, I need to set myself up, get ready for a yea royal joust. Knock somebody on their ass off their horse next, huh? And go eat me a whole leg of dinosaur ankles or some shit. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. People are confused. But when the scholars came out in the 50s, 60s, and 70s and did all the work for us, even in the 20s and 30s, we had scholars trying to teach us. But we ignored them. We let other people get in our heads and our race and tell us we didn't need each other. And a lot of people, decided not to complete their education. And let me say this. You are not being attacked, and I'm not attacking you for not having finished or attended or finished college. But I do have a problem with motherfuckers who drop out of high school. Now, you can't finish high school. Now, if you left high school and finished your GED, cool. But if you left high school and didn't do anything else except for went on to work, I don't trust you when I'm talking to you. I don't. You don't have very good sense. If I'm talking to you, I want to be able to have a conversation and not feel like my life is going to be put in jeopardy because I'm talking to you. Because a lot of people who didn't finish high school but went on to become economically successful, that's not my concern. We got a lot of economically successful blacks but don't have the IQ of goddammit grapes. Dangerous. And that's how we measure our humanity, with how much money we got, how many cars we got, and then the most ignorant dog walking the goddamn planet. I cussed again for the third time in my Sunday morning worship. And I do apologize. So, I need people who, there are people who never finished high school, who read books. They know how to read, they taught themselves how to read. Shout out to Malcolm X. Probably one of the premier intellectuals, most intelligent men that ever lived. They never read any books. And so, I'm talking about these folks didn't finish high school. You went to work, okay, you got your house, car, that's stuff that regular people do. But you can't talk to them about anything. They don't have the ability to be interested in things outside of themselves. And that's not how it works. Because I don't know how you enjoy the Bible so much, but you don't give a damn about nobody but yourself. So you can't be in love with Jesus Christ because all he gave up was himself. Come on, somebody. He even gave his own life according to your religious beliefs. So you can't be like that. And then you say you love Jesus. That's not how that works. Some of you ain't want to show up to a protest meeting or send an email of complaint, let alone give your life up for somebody else. That's not your child. That's not your wife or your daughter. Your wife or your girlfriend. See, I listen, I pay attention. You're in love with Malcolm, but you quote Malcolm all day long, but Malcolm had the plan. He gave the blueprint for our success in this country. Even when he got out of the nation, he still had the blueprint. And that blueprint, the main component of that blueprint was black unity. And for those people those guys out there saying, well, I got a wife and family, I can't be out there like that. Guess who else had a family? Jesus, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. They had families too. Medgar Evers got shot and killed in front of his family. So did Malcolm. What I'm saying, so just cut out all the excuses. Just say you're scared. And so, I know I originally started out talking about effeminate males. And I want to get back to the feminine males. Because see, even some effeminate males can have some character and not be afraid. Because effeminate doesn't mean that they're gay. Meaning that they was raised around a lot of women and they need some masculine, like an injection of masculinity somewhere in there. To behave like a Denzel or, something like that. But a lot of these young men have been taught that gay is the easier way. And they're broken down. That's even plantation right there. that buck broken is when they buck broke the strongest of the men. They softened them up and they broke their spirit. Like they break a wild horse that's bucking and acting a fool and being rebellious. That's the way they did black men. The African enslaved man who just refused to. I said, like, I can't do this. I can't be chained down. And they publicly broke them. The way they do horses. You people that grew up in the country, y'all know what it means to break a horse or break a horse. Make him docile and submissive. Make him not want to fight anymore. And that's what's happened to a lot of black men. And a lot of black people are raising their sons to be already pre-broken. So when they come out here in these tight-ass suits on, these soft-ass voices, half of them doing these girl dances, and you'll see they won't be a threat to this white male-dominated society. I mean, they won't even be strong enough to even create their own society. And then you see these old broken men. If they got a girlfriend, I want you to pay attention to the female. She's usually more butch than him. Or a lot of times she weighs more than him or taller than him or just say bigger than him. Yep. Because on the plantation they did the same thing. And in jail. That's why they try to work their ass off and send as many black males to jail. Because they know that process is going to be automatic. Because prison is a savage place for anybody to be, particularly black males. And they just go through there, they break them in there, and that's what they want to do. Break them down up in there. So when they come out, well, they have really nothing left on the inside. All these different ways which you try to keep the black family apart. And a lot of us volunteering, you know. You say, well, Rico, what about the 51 to 54% of black men who are single and childless? Or the 59% who live in the suburbs, middle class? What about them? Well, if that's an issue, it's usually because they've gotten to a place where they look around, there's no one to marry, where they're reproducing in this country. It's like, you know what, I'll just kick it, I'm good. I'll date and kick it, but I'm not trying to connect with none of these weirdo people. Because this society has really ruined a lot of people in this country, in America. Probably, and in Europe as well. If you watch a lot of foreign television shows, it's a lot of weird-ass feminist behavior. And a lot of men will say, you know what, over in Europe, there are guys who are paying up to like $5,000 for blow-up dolls, lifelike blow-up dolls, than to be with the women some of the white women over in Europe. That's how bad it's gotten. Y'all can debate that on your own. Man, I don't give a damn. I'd rather be with a loudmouth fat bitch, man, than be with a blow-up doll. I get it, bro. It's just still that human contact you look for, I guess. But, there are guys who become so frustrated and fed up. And I guess it's so hopeless and helpless and powerless to the bull. They're like, you know what, just give me the blow-up broad. Give me the blow-up broad. I ain't got to worry about her running her mouth. I can adjust the pimping however I want it. And all that. And that's basically what I guess the blow-up doll does for those guys. It's like, you know what, this is how a real woman should be. Just be nice, sweet, close your mouth. I'll cook for both of us, but just hush and just be nice. Well, the feminists are taking the niceness out of a lot of women. And unfortunately, it's taking a lot of niceness out of our women, African-American women, African-American women, African-bred women, African-American bred, born and raised women. Not all, but too many, of course. And so the effeminate male, he tries to make his way through. The effeminate male is often rejected in the black community by black men and black women. No, he's cool. They kind of mess with him and call him gay and stuff and be trying to fight him and jump on him and stuff, that feminine male, till he finally puts them hands up and they're like, well, no, man, don't let dude fool you, man. The man cool and shit, he laid back, but man, that dude will beat your ass. And when guys get that understanding, but on a social tip as it relates to interacting with women, two things work. Now, he's trying to date them. They kind of play him and put him off. Ooh, I don't know, he's too nice and blah, 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 right? When he's trying to date them. And so this same effeminate black male with a college degree, who who has a pretty good job or a nice thriving business, guess where he ends up? With another race of women. Asian, white, Latina, or a biracial chick who was raised in the suburbs around a lot of white people. But as far as the masses or core of black women, no, he gets rejected often. But it's interesting, those same black females that reject an effeminate black male, they start dating and even marrying effeminate white men. So it lets you know all he has to do is be white. Or be light-skinned enough, biracial or Latino or whatever. It's the weirdest thing. From my observation. I'm sure a lot of you have observed it as well. And then they turn into like effeminate, soft flowers that they act like they couldn't have been with black men. It's the weirdest behavior. Talk about code switching. These chicks do a whole personality switch. And they give it white men. And they don't even be the top 10 white men, man. Just a regular bottom basement brag. And so, but the effeminate black male, and that includes the nerds and the Spider-Man t-shirt wearing cats, He's 28 years old wearing a Thor t-shirt. But then again, be fair, he got a big belly and got peanut butter stains on it too. That don't help you either, brother. No. A lot of sisters don't care about your intellect. You got that few small that say, I like a man that's brilliant and smart. You notice when she says that, she's over 30. She ain't young and fine and saying that. No, when they're young and fine, they are what's called the female Superman. They're empowered. They know they shit popping. They know their booty bouncing. Tits are brand new, and they just turning everybody down left and right, giving it all to the the Lex Luthors of our race. Then when they get over 30 and ridden that cock carousel, got more mileage on them than Goodyear. I want God to send me a good man for me and my 2 kids by my 3 different baby dads, because I'm tired of messing with these losers. That whole thing, which is fine. I'm just sharing observations in my Sunday morning worship. Come on, y'all. And so, and also, if y'all notice, when other groups want to uplift a black male, they usually like for political leadership or economic leadership or like CEO, is usually the effeminate or the gay black male. It's never a rebellious slave black male, a real, what's called brawny black male. It's usually a effeminate, timid looking black dude. An example is, let's say he's been made a Democratic chair party or something. I want to thank everyone for your support. And this party, we're going to move forward, okay? That's usually the black male who's over the Democratic Party. But with Republicans, when they get a young white male, he sounds just like, he almost like Ted Cruz or one of them hard Republican black white dudes, I ain't studying none of that. He's doing it. He's 22 years old, finna run that Republican Party like it's supposed to be ran and keep that money flowing and all of that. And unapologetically Republican and conservative, doing his thing. But when white Democrats select a black male, he's usually a little softy cat. When they say the first black male at Harvard to be elected SJ president, right? Go look at him. Well, I'm here with my friends, and I've worked really hard, and I'm proud to be an African American. You never heard a real brother, a real black man, get high accolades from a racial group and it's related to a leadership position. Go to some of these college campuses, these black college campuses, white college campuses. When you see these dudes who are the SGA president at these white schools, and now even our black college campuses, look at some of these dudes. They're the SGA president. Hell, I guess when I was at Grambling in the 90s, they had some effeminate dudes. I think the one outwardly masculine SGA president we had, his name was Patrick Patron. He was from Africa. He was a big old tall dude, and it's almost like he was on like a vacation. He had little suits, ankle beaters, little jacket, shorts, some motherfuckers. He was like 6'11" or some shit. Shout out to Patrick Patron, Grand Fam, love you, bro. and he was funny. And but other than that, we had, you know, it was like females and cats who like kind of feminine and or gay. SGA president. And I think even out these black colleges, they're either feminine or gay if they're the SGA president. If it's a male. And the chicks usually, and the young women having these hard helmet weaves, beat face makeup. That's the masculinity of it all. Not all, but too many. But it's just like that. But it can be countered, I guess. And so it's things we got so much work we be doing in our race. And I know people hate the word race, but I enjoy it because that's how America was created. And that's why I live under reality. I live under the United States Constitution. And it's already set things into place. And we need to recognize that. Everybody's jockeying for position, but it's interesting that they're jockeying for position off the backs of the original people who were the original kidnapped and brought here. That's called the Americanized African. You know, the whole thing about if you can't beat them, join them, well, that's what a lot of folks have done. We can have a Black Lives Matter, but then you got the trans and all them who's a part of it. Well, all Black Lives Matter. See what I'm saying? Couldn't even do that right. It was already a gay organization, but then the black trans will come out and say, well, all lives matter. See, that kind of shit. What I call, or it's been referred to as white people talking points and strategies. You know, instead of saying Black Lives Matter, take what it is, they say all lives matter. See, minimizing what the point really is. And that's the strategy that's always been used. And we started using on each other. And so I decided about 7 years ago that that it's not what I decide, is what I observe. The most disrespected, the least protected, the most disregarded group in America is not the black female. She has been empowered economically in so many ways. It is the black male, because the black male, he is the solution. And is often looked at as a problem, but he is the solution to get black people where we need to go. Until we decide to, and all I just said in this last hour, until we understand the way God intended the world to be, even if we're separate cultures, you cannot have a culture, you cannot have a community without strong, masculine men, warriors. Do y'all understand me? And we're going to have to get this thing together. We're going to have to get it together. I know a lot of you empowered folks, so busy, trying to push your daughters forward. That's fine too, but you need to be push them toward a marriage where they can be ready to be the educators and the nurturer of children with a husband and not somebody angry baby mama. And stop looking up to these celebrities that chose to be baby mama, some of them 3 times by 4 different dudes. Y'all stop doing that. But anyway, I think I've rattled on long enough. I just want to say good morning. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, Tiffany Sugar. And now I can safely sign off and say, look, y'all mess with me on the Cash App and the PayPal. My book is always for sale. Just read up on here on my YouTube channel. Share, subscribe, share the live. Subscribe to my Rico the Opinionist YouTube channel at your own risk. And I'm going to continue to enjoy this little brisk walk on this beautiful Sunday morning, October 24th. Y'all be cool. Mary Max, call me good when I hang up off this live. All right? Peace. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.